All right, so today is part 2 of the know, like, and trust conversation. This is the basically talking a lot about how to be successful, how there are 3 pillars to success, and that means when working with other people, there are some things that have to be true. And so one of the things that have to be true is that you have to be know, liked, and trusted. So know, like, and trust. You've probably heard that before. You've heard me say it. And people tend to do business with people they like. And they want you to like them too. And at the core of all this, well, the word like is interesting because truly to be liked or someone to like something, I think it's definitely overused in the English language. And for something to be like means it's very similar in kind. And got this hat, Abbott Kinney. I'll post a comment in there with the brand. And so people, when they say they like something, I think some of that meaning has gotten lost, but what it really means is to be of similar kind. So if I like something, it's likely that I find some type of similarity in myself with that thing, and now I have a connection with it. So how do you create that likability, how to be likable? And one of the big things that I find is, and I think people are very hip to this conversation, which is we're all, deep down, we're the same. You cut us open and a human being looks a lot like a human being when you get underneath the surface. And so there's this saying, I don't know who said it first, and the saying is, what is personal is universal. So a lot of times people walk around the world thinking, well, if people knew this about me, they wouldn't like me. And then are completely shocked when they end up at one point in their life, they end up sharing the thing that's the most vulnerable, the most authentic, the thing that's really going on with them deep down. And so when they do have that vulnerable share, what ends up happening is they're surprised by the universality, how universal it is. So when I share something that I feel is super personal to me, a lot of times I'm shocked that someone goes, oh wow, I'm going through the same stuff. And in fact, I've shared so much over the years that I'm no longer shocked. And so number one rule is, and when it comes to sharing authentically and vulnerably, what is personal is universal. So you'll be really surprised when you share something that's going on for you, how many people will stand up and speak out and go, oh man, I'm having that same experience. You are now seen as similar. And so when you're doing that, when people see you as similar, they now want to do business with you. They'll listen to you. They want to connect with you. Another thing is I made this point in the beginning, is not only do you want to be liked for the benefits that come with that, but you want the people you're interacting with, the people you're doing business with, the people you're coaching, you want them to feel as though you like them as well, that you see yourself as similar to them, and which is very, very true if you ask a lot of really good questions. So if you're asking good questions, then they're gonna feel connected to you. They're gonna realize that you're seeing them and that you're finding similarities. And there's one book on this that is really, really good, that really gets the point across. And I wouldn't be surprised if the whole conversation of know, like, and trust is in this book. It was one of the first personal development books I ever read, and man, I think it's a good first stop for anybody. And that book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. And so if you've been listening to the show for years and years and years. You know, I've talked about that in the past, and I don't talk about it as much because it's so long. And the other thing is when I read that book, I consciously put the practices in place, and then over time it became part of who I am. It's a natural way of being. And so a lot of this personal development conversation is simply that, is realizing that, oh, I can do something differently. You start implementing, and you're doing it constantly, and you're implementing, you're practicing. It's a practice. And then one day you wake up and you go, oh, I am actually more interested in people than I used to be. Because a lot of times what we do is we're not asking questions, and we assume that we're different. And then once you start asking questions, you find the similarities, and you fall in love with people, and all of a sudden, life gets a lot easier. Coaching gets a lot easier. Business gets a lot easier. So that's part 2 of my know, like, and trust conversation. These are 3 pillars that are connected, that are tied to success. And yeah, that's all I got for you today. Now, if you're interested, if you're a coach and you're interested in taking these types of concepts and learning how to apply them very specifically to your life, coaching, business, go over to thestrongcoach.com, and I'm opening up registration at the end of this week. Don't tell anybody. So if you want to get on the wait list, I might be letting those people on the wait list in a little early because I only got 10 spots. So love y'all, and I look forward to sharing the video on trust tomorrow. See you then.